everyone, and welcome to my sketchbook tour of Huevember 2019. Now, if you don't know about Huevember is another challenge month, and it's normally set in November, or some people push it to January, so it's Jan-Huvery. I decided to start this in November, and it's taken me a little bit of a while to actually get through it, because I decided to be the crazy person and not do 1 or 2 pieces, but 2 to 3 pieces every single day. Now, normally this would not be minded, since this is a small sketchbook. This is just a sea white sketchbook, which is around about 12 by 12. It's not very big at all, but the problem is with November and December is they are very, very busy in retail. So I had to push back quite a bit, but eventually I finally finished it, and I am so happy to show you the full sketchbook. So the list of equipment I'm using, as always, is listed down below, but I'm using my trusty Pro markers, and I did this little colour wheel for what hue I was using every single day. Now, for the last 2 years, because I did Huevember last year and failed epically, but I did The Girl and Her Dragon, which is Willow and Ember. And Willow and Ember actually started doing through the Huevember challenge. My second one was always a D&D NPC, since I'm doing a lot of DMing at the moment, which is dungeon mastering for my games, and thought it'd be really fun to flesh out the characters that I've created. And then the third one for each month was just whatever I fancied, say month each day. So there's a mixture of Girl and Her Dragon, NPCs for my current D&D games, as well as whatever I fancied on the day. And I absolutely adore this challenge. This is a really fantastic way of working with a limited palette. Now, with Huevember, you don't actually have to use just that one colour. It just has to be the main colour of that illustration. But I find that was a little bit too, I just really like to have it being the main colour of the illustration, and have the illustration be very one tone and build up through that. I find it's an awful lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed doing this challenge. I highly recommend it to anyone. All it is a drawing every single day, just limiting the palette, and that is such a fantastic way to understand colouring. This is a really fantastic challenge for working with colours that you would not normally work with. I tend to stick away from very warm tones. I'm not very good with yellow and orange and reds. They are the colours that I do not tend to work with a lot, just because it is the one that I find the most difficult to blend. I tend to use a lot of blues, greens and purples, and doing this challenge really branches out my horizons when it comes to colours, and forces me to work outside of my comfort zone. So Huevember, is it a fantastic challenge month and you should totally do it? Absolutely. Should you force yourself to do it if you are not comfortable with drawing that for day? No. This is the thing with monthly challenges, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, and I will mention it in every single video that I talk about monthly challenges. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult to keep up to date with that challenge. I don't always have time allotted for a challenge every single day. So especially because I part-time work and I do illustration on top of that, it's putting priority of what to put first, and unfortunately Huevember did take a little bit of a backseat while I was working. It just had to, and I did feel kind of bad for that, but at the same time it was stuff that was a little bit more important than working on a monthly challenge, and that is absolutely fine. The whole idea with these challenges is to practice drawing every single day, and even though I have been drawing every single day, it's not necessarily been on this Huevember challenge. So I actually only finished this in January, and that's really, that's not great for me for a challenge month, but I'm absolutely fine with it, because I understand that this had to take a backseat. It had to. But I'm really happy to be sharing all the illustrations again. And for those asking, yes, there will be another Huevember book. I know people have been asking if there's going to be another Girl and the Dragon. I'd really like to finish off the year before's Huevember and release volume 2 of Girl and the Dragon and volume 3 of Girl and the Dragon. That way we have the stories subsequently of the dragon getting older, growing up, learning skills. I just think that's really important. But the question I want to bring to you guys is, quite a few people have been asking me if I'm going to do a sketchbook of all the D&D characters that I've drawn, like all the NPCs, all the characters I've built. And if you are interested in this, please let me know in the comment section down below if you'd be interested in seeing a physical book of all these. I know my D&D teams will be very enthusiastic since they may recognise quite a few of the NPCs in here, but please let me know in the comment section down below if this is something you're interested in. I was originally thinking of releasing it all as one volume, just a big massive Huevember volume, but I think Girl and the Dragon is something that's a little bit more specific for itself. I love Ember and Willow. I think they tell such a beautiful story together, and the NPCs are just so much fun to draw, bringing life to these characters that I've been voicing, and a lot of them have been a lot of fun to voice, which I know if you have been asking for a D&D story time, and I really want to do that, as well as do a picture of the D&D crews that I currently deal with. I say deal with, they know who they are. I think with monthly challenges, and it is something I have reiterated before, is we put a lot of pressure upon ourselves that we have to do a perfect drawing every single day. And the whole idea with this wasn't to do a perfect drawing every single day, but just to have fun with it and try out techniques that I would not normally do, use colours that I would not normally do, and not every single one of these is perfect. In fact, they are far from it. But did I have fun drawing these? Absolutely. Did I learn a lot? Yes, I definitely learned a lot about working, especially with the darker tones. Like this dark purple in particular was so difficult to work with, just because it was trying to lighten up certain aspects with alcohol markers. Once you've put that colour down, it is very, very difficult to lift that colour back up. And the lighter colours I was a lot happier with because I was able to create the effect that I wanted, whereas with the darker tones I really, really struggled with. And that's something that I personally know that I need to work on this year, as well as growing my portfolio of work and approaching things from different aspects and looking how to look at colour as a branching out of my illustration. I know my line work is my strongest asset. I know it is, and that's not me being big-headed. That is just because it is a skill that I've honed for a long, long time. It is something that I know is the strongest aspect of my work, whereas colour I still feel very weak with. I am not as confident with. If you asked me to do a line art commission, I would be so easily happy with that, just because I understand what I'm doing with the slight line weight and stuff. Of course, there's still a lot of stuff for me to learn with line work, but I feel a lot more confident with it. Whereas with colour, I'm not 100% confident still, and that is just learning curves and understanding what works and what doesn't work for your work in general. Now, could I have done this challenge in watercolours? Absolutely, and I'm actually thinking for Huevember this year in 2020, I might actually do the entire challenge in watercolours, but instead of doing 2 to 3 illustrations every single day, I think I'm just going to stick to Girl and the Dragon because I've really enjoyed drawing them every single Huevember. I think it's absolutely so much fun to do, and I've really enjoyed keep on visiting these characters. I like how Ember has grown a little bit more. He is much bigger than what he used to be. Willow is the same old, but I like to think that they keep each other company and their friendship is very, very strong. He just really has such a maternal instinct and helps raise the dragons. Even though he can't fly, he tries his best to help in any way, shape or form that he can. And that to me it's just such a beautiful relationship to see between them. I don't know, I just really enjoy drawing them. I enjoy drawing all of my original character designs. Now, You will have noticed at the beginning of the sketchbook there was a new character introduced with the Girl and the Dragon series, and this is one of the co-workers who actually doesn't have a name. So if you guys are thinking of any awesome names I can give to this trainee dragon keeper, he was actually introduced, or I should say they were actually introduced in last Huevember, which unfortunately I did not finish, but I would love to finish that off and show off the sketchbook tour in here if you are interested. Just call it like the delayed 2018 sketchbook tour maybe. If you guys think of any wonderful names, please let me know it in the comments section down below. The one thing that I really enjoyed in particular was adding like the silver and gold to this. I tried out lots of different pens to try and get the desired effect that I wanted, and I've really found there are particular pens in general when it comes to the silver and metallic that I am very, very happy with, and some that I am not. And I'm thinking of doing a review on these in the future for you all on this channel, just so that you can understand what works and what doesn't work for certain mediums. Mainly because now I've been trying out quite a few to try and get the effects that I want, and there is only one set of pens that I still to this day, even several years later, am absolutely in love with, and that's the Decoroller Argent. It is one of the most difficult pens to get a hold of. I've only ever been able to import them, and I've not imported them for about 2-3 years just because I've not been able to. And my gold one is on its last legs, and it makes me very sad because I love this gold an awful lot. One of the things that I really enjoyed with creating the D&D NPCs was creating some of the ones that the people that I play, I dungeon master for, have not seen yet, and they keep messaging me going, when is this character gonna show up? And I'm like, well, you're just gonna have to wait. Are they good? Are they bad? Are we gonna love them? And I'm like, no, you don't know. I can't tell you. You'll have to wait. And that's Devin. Poor Devin always gets picked on, that poor character. I just like seeing all the sketchbook complete all together. I think it's really nice to flick through. It's very satisfying seeing the rainbow all come together, especially with the all the colours and stuff. I would really like to visit some of these illustrations again and make them full colour illustrations. But let me know in the comment section down below as well, which one is your favourite? Like, is there any particular images that you can really like, or is there any illustrations that are particularly singing to you? Like, let me know in the comments section down below, because I'd love to recreate some of these. Just because like this sketchbook isn't the biggest, and I just realized when I was drawing in it that this illustration could have been so much bigger, and so I had so much more detail if I had more paper to work with. And that's another challenge, drawing small. It's sometimes so difficult to draw small when you're used to drawing a lot bigger, and I sometimes sit there going, why did I just not choose a bigger sketchbook? And then I realized I didn't choose a bigger sketchbook because I purposely wanted it to be small, so that I'd have to work properly on these illustrations, and it would challenge me to work to a specific brief. And that's one thing that I do think is really important, challenging yourself and working to briefs, but at the same time not overworking yourself. You've got to make sure that you don't overdo a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to your work, because that's how you get burnout, and burnout can really affect you and your work. I'm glad I took breaks in between doing this. Does it mean that I technically didn't do the challenge properly? Yes. Do I care? No. Did I have fun doing it? Absolutely. Do I enjoy flicking through the sketchbook and smiling at some of the illustrations and D&D NPCs that I made, and the Girl and her Dragon, Amber and Willow? Am I happy to see them again? Absolutely. This was so much fun to do, and I really hope you have all enjoyed it. It's honestly one of my favourite challenges, and I'm really glad I finished the sketchbook. But now it's a new year, and that means new ventures. What shall we do next? Hope you have a wonderful day, and as always folks, stay creative.